Here we are. A couple of idiots looking for a way out. So desperate they'll fall for anything.
That really what you think's going on here?
Why? You gonna resist? If that's the case, we'll just kill you then.
Hey, no! Stop! Stop! Here's your serum. Take it back. I'll stop. Anything you want, just let me leave.
Fine, get out of here, but you start your ship back up and next time I won't be so lenient.
Yeah, sure, thank you.
Mr. Mancer, it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Big on weaponry, I hope? What can I get you?
Your beggar problem's fixed. It was a little more complicated than it looked.
Really? How so?
They weren't here by choice. Poor folks got ripped off by a guy who said he was a smuggler. Told them he'd get them to Shadow Lair. Instead, he cut them up and made them work for him.
Terrible thing to hear. Oh, I'm glad you put an end to it. Here, take this. For saving those people and our businesses.
My boy, I have a favor to ask you. I've lost something.
What'd you lose?
I mentioned one thing. Oh, I am sorry. In fact, it's about a friend. Charles? You remember Charles? No, you can't remember him. Silly me, you never met him. Anyway, Charles is a friend. A scientist co-worker. He was way more successful than I must say. So, he's a friend, and I lost him. It looks like he disappeared, and I am a bit worried. I know that he was doing some sensitive research. Important. Maybe he ran into problems because of that. Anyhow, it's hard to tell.
How do you want me to find him?
He has an assistant, Very nice. She used to make delicious pastries. Unless I'm mixing her up with someone else. Anyway, he had an assistant. I'm pretty sure of it.
I'll go find her. She must know what happened to him, and if she does, it'll turn out the professor is just at a conference somewhere.
Maybe. It's true I don't get invited to conferences as often as I used to. It's rather unfair. I used to love the cocktails they served.
I have a sample of a drug that was administered to the soldiers. We absolutely need an antidote. Can you do that?
Of course. You know, you could have probably made it yourself. If you would listen to the science lessons I was trying to teach you... Oh well, you preferred to throw lightning bolts. I remember that time.
Scott, here's the sample. Can I get an antidote?
You think that I'm senile? You'll see. Give me some time. Take this. It wasn't that complicated. I made you one dose, and I wrote down the formula on it. They'll be on their own for making others.
Thank you, Scott.
Make the slightest move, you're a dead man.
Hey there, I'm looking for Charles Seeker. You know where I could find him?
And you are?
Zachariah Mancer. The professor and I have a mutual friend who's worried about him.
I know the feeling. Haven't seen him for days. I'm Veronica Seeker, the professor's assistant. I got a message informing me he had taken an impromptu vacation, but it's not like him. He didn't even like to sleep, said it just wasted time. Even more than likely in the middle of the research he was doing.
Yeah, seems a bit off, doesn't it? Professor was supposed to start some research with a friend of mine as well. I'm sure he'd already started work on it before leaving. You know anything about it?
I, of course, know the subject of his investigations, but as the one you're interested in has yet to be completed or published, I can't help you.
If you're concerned that the message wasn't really from the professor, did you report his disappearance?
To the authorities? Of course not. The authorities, Mr. Mancer, have far more pertinent issues than this, which I am sure will work itself out in time. Now, if you'll excuse me.
It's a damn shame. I have to admit, I would have loved to meet the man myself. Heard so many great things. Even read his work in genetics regarding the origins of the Primo-Celpia Earthlings with abundance. Brilliant man.
And the truth is, he would have been just as interested in meeting you. Technomancers fascinated him, though I'm fairly certain he'd never met one who had ever read his publications. I'm afraid the professor's vocal railings against the ASC and their ceaseless power grabs might have finally come back to bite him. He would even preach to his colleagues and the listeners at conferences. I would give anything to be wrong, of course, but hope is oftentimes incongruous with the reality we must come to face.
That's one good-looking woman. Too bad she's only got eyes for her professor. I'd advise you to not try anything.
Seems so sad. Lieutenant, why are we investigating the professor's disappearance? The captain never discussed it. It's not our order.
I've been working on something that'll help us in the long run. Something really important. I don't know how it's connected to this, but it is. You're gonna have to trust me.
Oh, I get it. You just want to solve a case on your own. I got your back, Lieutenant.
Hi, Scott.
Hello, my boy. How are you? Nothing broken, I hope?
I'm sorry, Scott. You were right to worry about your friend. According to his assistant, it seems that he had problems. He was quite critical of the corporation, and you know how dangerous it's been lately.
How crazy he was. He should have just stuck to his research. How foolish to meddle with politics. He was a very good researcher, you know? He made real progress on the settlers' genetic origins. How sad. And that poor woman who must be worried, sick. Listen, I thought... Anyway, maybe you could...
What's going on?
I know that I'm asking a lot from you, but I was wondering if maybe you could continue to investigate. You are someone important now. You know a lot of people. They can tell you if Veronica's suspicions are justified.
I can probably talk about it with my captain, or tap into some contacts in the know.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I want to be sure, you see. I think that you need to recover his latest research. I strongly believe that, besides what he said, he found something dangerous. The ASC, they're thugs. We must not allow sensitive scientific research to fall into their hands. The risks are too high.
I'll see what I can do, but I doubt that Veronica will give me Charles's documents willingly. She's very protective of her boss's work. Veronica, I need a favor. I'm looking for access to the professor's compiled research documents. Might be a big help to me.
It's just not my work to share, Zachariah. If he came back, I don't think he'd be too pleased to find out I handed it away. You ever find out what happened to him?
Still looking for leads. Just finding dead end after dead end. But I'm still looking.
I keep hoping he just took a vacation. But I know better. That man could never relax. Let me know if you hear anything, will you?
What the hell? Fucking fallow? Hell you want, huh?
To find your chief.
Mara? You want Mara? What are you... Fuck it. Ain't my fight. You'll find her there if you want to find her. Hope she gives you what you're looking for.
What are we doing here, Lieutenant? This an official mission? It isn't, is it? What are we gonna do if we come under attack?
Then we'll defend ourselves. Look, I know Anton Rogue's not the kind of guy to hang out with, but he's the guy to come to if you want to know anything about anything going on. And I need to know something.
All right, whatever you say, Lieutenant, I'm behind you. Anything goes down, I got your back.
You ain't wanted here, pal. Piss off!
I heard you put an end to the smugglers' trafficking, Mr. Mancer. I am disappointed.
Why's that?
My concern? Oh no, I simply admired the man. Not for the income he scraped from his beggar army, but rather for the pressure he managed to put on the merchants without lifting a finger. With that said, anything having to do with crime is my concern. Maybe you will remember the next time before you stick your fingers in my pies. Now tell me, what do you want?
I'm looking for a prostitute named Sarah.
And you wouldn't be the only one. She was quite the popular menu item for the boys at the barracks, until she disappeared, like a puff of once lucrative smoke. You catch wind of her, you'll let me know. I'd be much obliged. Wish I could give you a bearing, but the truth of the matter is, the doll simply disappeared, along with a potential profit I'm not happy to have seen go with her, but would pay to see returned, with or without some added bruising as a lesson in running off.
Professor Charles Seeker. I'm looking for what happened to him. What can you tell me?
The dangers of having a mind, of using it, and especially of speaking it, I'm afraid. His research and political opinions push the line, and patience of some. Funny how smart and wise don't always go hand in hand. That said, word is he boarded a train. Not so much a pleasure trip. More like a forced hiatus given the military escort and the colonel's re-education camp he was bound for. No matter the power of the mind, the power of a gun always seems to gain the upper hand in the end, don't you think?
I gotta go.
Then go.
You, Mara?
Yeah. What's it to you, dick?
Charming. I helped the young lady escape from a warehouse where she was being tortured. She can't even remember her own name.
Wow, you're a hero. Thanks for the story.
She was one of yours.
You found Talia? If you found her, fuck. This would be the first damn time I'd ever owe any guy anything. You bring her here, whether she remembers herself or us or not, if it's her, she's one of us. Family. So yeah, we'll take care of her. And the assholes who fucked with her too.
Just glad to finally find her a home. There's a merchant in the exchange quarter, name's Fiorello. He's been taking care of her. Send someone to get her. Tell him I sent you.
And what's your name? To tell him?
Zachariah Mancer.
A good name. One I won't forget. We don't have many friends with dicks around here, but I'd like to consider you one. Thanks for bringing our sister back home.
Bye, Mara. Hey there.
Officer, hello! What can I do for the fine officer today? Check out my merchandise. I have everything you'd ever need for hunting.
Hey there. Just came by to let you know Fiorello's back in the exchange, and he's got your merchandise.
Now, that is some very good news. Thank you. I'll send my assistant right away.
Never been here. It seems dangerous. All those mutants. I always wondered if they're contagious. What exactly are you planning, Lieutenant? Force seems the most appropriate, of course, but there's a lot of them. Even if it's not easy to understand them, maybe we should try to talk to them.
What's the problem? Why aren't you working?
Their kind work like one. If one is hurt, they all cannot work. And now they have one who is wounded, so they are all helpless. But the men do not want to help the wounded. They just want him back on the roof.
Where's your hurt friend? I may be able to help him. Here, your friend's as good as new. Back to normal.
Thank you. The man was very nice. They will go back to work now, and if they survive, will not forget what the man did for them.
What does the man want?
Just to talk to you. You need to go back to work.
No, they will not. They will not die to go repair roofs broken by men. Men must find another way to fix it.
Listen, I know it's dangerous work, and the odds are pretty high that some of you may die doing it. But if you don't, the whole city will suffer, and all of you in the pen will die. Not just a few. I know it's an enormous sacrifice to ask, but it's for the greater good.
If the man tells them the truth, they have no choice. They will go back to work to save the many. They wish the man would protect the city better in the future, so these sacrifices never have to happen again.
Believe me, we're gonna try our best.
The man must think about those going to die for him. Not forget what he asked of them. What they did. But now, they must go back to work.
Let's go. You can't just sit around while the city's exposed. Get back to work.
They would, but their tools are too damaged to work. With bad tools, they will be in the eye of father-son longer, and die quicker.
I'm not here for excuses. Get back to work. You had enough convincing? Ready to work again now?
Yes. They will go back to work with their bad tools, which will make their work slower and deaths quicker.
What the hell are you doing? Get back to work. You're putting a lot of lives at risk.
They will die beneath the eye of Father Son if they go up to repair the roof. The man knows this, but does not care about them.
Maybe you're too dumb to put it together. So let me spell it out for you, mutant. The roof needs to be fixed. By your kind. Now. We don't care how many of you die doing it either. You don't want to go up and repair the roof? Fine. Your choice. We'll just send your children and your elderly. All those too weak to rebel with you. Then, we'll execute you. You'll all die anyway, and without even doing any good. That what you want?
The man would send our children. The man is... They will go back to work. Leave our children be.
Hey there, you in charge of the mutant pen? Name's Zachariah Mancer, Ophir officer.
Hey, yeah. Pen's my responsibility. Sure. Dan Stewart, what can I do for you?
I managed to stop the rebellion. The mutants should resume work soon.
Well, there's a bit of good news. Sure it wouldn't have ended so well without your help. Probably would have lost my job, so thank you. Make the slightest move, you're a dead man.
Lost 10 doses of serum the other day. Bad bet in the arena at the Curiosities. Wife is gonna have my head if this keeps up.
Easier said than done. I know the thrill of a win. Reminds me, did you see the fight yet?
Veronica, I need a favor. I'm looking for access to the professor's compiled research documents. Might be a big help to me.
It's just not my work to share, Zachariah. If he came back, I don't think he'd be too pleased to find out I handed it away. You ever find out what happened to him?
From what I could gather, he was arrested and thrown into the correctional camp. Apparently his criticism of the government was more important to them than his work. Times we live in, I guess.
I don't even know what to... Such a loss. A waste. Maybe his work shouldn't be abandoned. If he's not coming back anytime soon, or at all, and you can do good with it.
Hi, Scott.
Hello, my boy. How are you? Nothing broken, I hope?
Unfortunately, I've received confirmation of what Veronica suspected. Charles was arrested and deported to a camp as a punishment for his comments. I'm sorry, Scott. I did bring back his research, though, since you wanted it.
Thank you, Zachariah. A camp? How awful. But what is happening to our dear abundance? We won't beat Aurora if we get rid of our scientists. Anyway, I'll take a look at these documents. No doubt our dear Charles was worried. They're coded. It's funny, it reminds me of the code we used as students, so that the professors wouldn't know about our adventures. All this is a little far away. I'm gonna have to think about it. Thank you, Zach. Thanks again.
So you find my girl yet?
Popular young girl you got there. Word is the mob's looking for her too, but she slipped away. Maybe one of her regular clients could help.
Oh, well, let me think. There was one fella was deep into my Sarah, if you catch my drift. Spent all his serum, time, attention on my baby girl. John Labor, I believe. Fella from the slums. But if you're gonna find him there, you have to go at day's end. During daylight, the boy works round them military warehouses with the rovers.
Hey, you John Labor?
That depends. What's this about?
You alright? Look a little worse for wear.
Oh yeah, never better. What do you want?
A young woman worked around here. Name was Sarah.
Yeah, girl's gotten popular. A lot of people looking for her these days. What's it to you?
Just a guy trying to help her out. What do you say?
Yeah, alright. That girl could use all the help she could get. Now, I tried. I tried not to tell him where she was at, but a fella can only take so much before he breaks. You follow? A fella can only take so much. Sarah wanted out of her family, away from her bitch mother, out of the city, away from the underworld, out of abundance, to a world of hope is all. A new start. That too much to want? No. So she headed off to the exchange to find a smuggler, or anyone offering hope. But, thanks to me, she probably got those assholes all over her by now. I tried to keep my mouth shut. Y'all really tried. You gotta go get her first, mister. She's a good girl. So go on now. You find her, and you help her.
Hey! Hell you doing here, huh? What do you want?
Nothing from you. I'm here for...
The gal? Right. Sorry she's ours. Maybe you can come back later after we're done with her. You can get the hell out now and never come back! Or do you need me to help you out permanently?
Please! Please, sir!
Shut your fucking mouth, bitch! Fuck your lucky damaged goods are worth less, or I'd drop a hammer on your teeth!
Yeah, I think we've got a little misunderstanding. I need to talk to the girl, and you don't really have a choice here.
Is that so?
tell you how much I owe you. What they would have done to me if you hadn't shown up. But I need to get out of town now, for good.
If you really want to leave, I know a traveling merchant who may be willing to help you. He's in the exchange quarter and he owes me a favor or two. Tell him I sent you. It'll be a lot safer than trying to find an honest smuggler.
Really? Why? Thank you. Thank you. I will never forget you.
Hey there, Fiorello.
Ah, the one, the only, Mancer. A pleasure as always. What brings you here this fine day?
I need your help.
And I haven't forgotten I owe you. I'm happy to help wherever I can.
Glad to hear it. I'd like you to take this young woman with you. Her name's Sarah.
Of course. I'd be happy to. If she wants to leave, I'm sure her reasons are more than valid, so I won't pry. You can count on me.
Thank you. I found out where the girl's from.
That is great! Great news!
Not for her, unfortunately. Turns out she was part of a female gang trying to come together as a rival to Anton Rogue's outfit. Fight barely lasted a round, but clearly it annoyed Anton enough to have one of them kidnapped and tortured to send a message.
So what happens to her now?
Just sending her back to her friends. One of the girls will probably come get her. What's the point of trying to hold her accountable for things she doesn't even remember? And she's already suffered enough.
You surprise me, officer. Open-minded, compassionate. A rare breed in your field of work. Sad to think she will just return to the streets. But what's to be done? Here, take this, for all your trouble. I hate to risk exploiting your kindness, but if I may.
Go on.
Since our little misadventure the other day, I'm always looking over my shoulder, feeling that those mob types are breathing down my neck, fearing I'm less protected than I ought to be.
Then you want bodyguards?
In a sense. But understanding that no ordinary citizen of abundance would suffice, and that such a task for you would be an insult, I was thinking that perhaps a strong mutant might do the trick. Word goes around that one might be able to make such an acquisition from the mutant pen in the slums. If you might make the trip for me, I could compensate you for the price of both the mutant and your time.
I'll see what I can do.
Thank you. Again, thank you.
I found your clients. Told them you had their merch. They'll come pick it up as soon as they can.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Please, take this. As a token of my appreciation, it is not much for all you've done for me, but it's something.
What made you want a mutant for a bodyguard?
All over in my travels, I saw merchants with mercenary companions. People who had abandoned their high rank in a corporation for the chance to travel. For serum. Hired thugs. Loyal only to the serum they are paid in. A dangerous circumstance. And one that often saw those thugs turn on their employers. A mutant, however, may be less intelligent, but far more loyal. At least if fed well. And just look at him! The personification of intimidation. His size alone tells the story.
You already back, Lieutenant Zachariah?
Mutants are back to work, Captain.
Well done, Lieutenant. Now go see Ryan and get paid.
Hi.
Lieutenant, how can I help you?
Captain Eliza told me to come find you for my pay.
Indeed, I've been expecting you. Here you go.
I went to a friend for a solution to our antidote problem, and he found one.
That's the kind of good news you don't get every day. You could stop 100 terrorist attacks and still not save as many lives as you have with that antidote, Lieutenant.